What's up, guys? You're listening to another episode of Selling on Amazon with Willie Isom. In this episode, I'm going to show you how SmartScout's category tool shows you all of the competition. This is a new software tool that I've been using for about a month now, and it's been changing the game for me, especially with my high-level Jaguar students. So obviously my high-level Jaguar students are getting one-on-one access to me. So I'm personally, doing some back-end research for my students. I'm double checking their numbers. I'm analyzing markets. I like to send Loom recording videos, kind of like what you're seeing right here on the YouTube channel, with my findings, my thoughts, my reasonings behind things, so we can make sure that these students are putting out the best products possible, obviously to give themselves the best chances for success. So I've been more interested lately in how I can, again, give my students the best support, the best guidance, and the best results ultimately. So I've been looking at other tools to add to my arsenal along with Jungle Scout. I'm still by far a big Jungle Scout fan. I still use Jungle Scout. All my students use Jungle Scout. But again, there's other tools out there, and you guys have heard me mention them. I did an episode about Seller Board. That's another tool we've added to our arsenal. SmartScout is another one that we're adding. So I wanted to take the time to do a dedicated podcast episode today to talk specifically about just one of the features of this tool that I think is different than what Jungle Scout or Helium 10 and these other tools offer, and kind of explain what insights this tool gives you and why this is so valuable. I will mention I've got a special 25% off 3 months for you guys, for my podcast listeners, for my subscribers and followers. So I will put a link down below in the description of this video or this episode. You can also use the code AMZ with Andy during checkout. So just enter that promo code AMZ with Andy, 25% off 3 months for you guys to dive into SmartScout. So let me get signed in here really quickly, and then we'll jump right into it. All right. From the main dashboard, over on the left, you're going to have your main menu of tools. It will also show up right here, just right here on the main page. But we're going to use today, we're really going to dive into this subcategories tool. Now, there are so many ways you can utilize this tool. And again, I've been playing around with this for weeks now. The possibilities really are endless, which again, you'll see here on screen if you're watching on YouTube. And if not, if you guys are just listening to the episode, I'm going to do my best to kind of explain in audio format, obviously, what this tool is doing, what it is showing us. Right here off the bat, if I simply click on the subcategory tool, it is showing me every single category on Amazon. So we've got like 20 or so main categories, right? For Amazon, we've got clothing, shoes, and jewelry, home and kitchen, electronics, beauty and personal care. The same categories you'd see if you went to Amazon.com and browsed around, or if you were using Jungle Scout and using their search features, you'd see these same categories. But here's where things get a little bit different here with SmartScout. Right here from the top level, I can see estimated monthly revenue for any category. So I can see exactly the estimated monthly revenue for the category clothing, shoes, and jewelry, which comes in at a whopping $5.2 billion per month. And I'm also seeing a whole bunch more data points like the seller revenue percentage, the Amazon revenue percentage. So you can see like how much money is being earned by third-party sellers versus Amazon and their brands. How many brands there are. There's 144,000 brands in the clothing, shoes, and jewelry category. The average number of sellers, which is their primary category. Average package volume, There's a lot of stuff that we're getting nitty gritty here. But you can see number of ASINs, estimated monthly units sold, average ratings. Now this is at the highest level. But the cool thing about the category tool is you can click down in any category and view all the data for the subcategory. So under clothing, shoes, and jewelry, I can click the little drop down. Now I'm looking at women, men, novelty, sport, baby, girls, boys, luggage, shoe, costume, self-service. And then within those, I can click down even further. Let me click down in baby. I got baby boys, baby girls. I can click down further. Clothing, accessories, shoes. I can click shoes, sneakers, boots, slippers, athletics, shoes, Oxfords, loafers. I can see every subcategory under category. Essentially what this is the node tree, right? This is the node tree on Amazon. So if you were shopping on Amazon, you could, looking at a product, you're like, oh, I'm under baby boys boots. Okay. But here in SmartScout, I can see, okay, the market for baby boys boots on Amazon is $1.4 million per month. And again, I can see all the same data metrics here for baby boys boots. Number of brands I'd have to compete with, average ratings count, all the juicy information that tell you if that is a good market to enter into. Now, this is again why this is so valuable. If you guys know me, the way that I teach and how I teach my students, it starts at the highest level, right? I teach all my students, think about a brand, think about a category, think about a niche that interests you. Because guys, if you really want to turn this into a profitable, successful, long-term business, it's going to take multiple products. It's not just going to be like one SKU and you just make a bajillion dollars. Likely you're going to have multiple SKUs and multiple variations of those SKUs until you're building out a brand, right? And that's also going to be a better move long-term for you because that's going to build more equity in something. That's going to be something that becomes more sellable to, an aggregator or someone else or another company, right? If you want to ultimately build to exit, which I think everyone should have at the back of their mind, you need something that's valuable. And brands are what people are looking to buy, not just random products. People want to buy brands because brands are what build community. Brands build followings. Brands build, a sense of relationship with the customer. So building a strong brand around a bunch of core products, right, that all, kind of relate together, that's going to be the best move for you long term. So this kind of shows you guys what is a good opportunity from that brand, category, market, subcategory, niche perspective to enter into. So let's dive into, let's use this as a way to explore a niche, okay? I'm actually going to use an example of a niche that I normally probably wouldn't recommend to students, but it's just something kind of fun and random. We're actually going to look at tactical flashlights. So if I search here on the subcategory tool and I type in tactical flashlights as my subcategory, I can see the node tree. So that category, that niche of products would fall under sports and outdoors, sports and fitness, hunting, fishing, tactical and personal defense equipment, tactical flashlights. Here's what's cool about tactical flashlights, guys. It comes in at a whopping $14 million per month. Now, just for reference, me and my team, when we analyze products, brands, markets, we are normally looking for a market. Like if someone's like, hey, is this a good market? Is this a good niche to get into? We are normally looking at the bare minimum $1 million to $2 million per month. So the fact that this one is 14 million, good sign right off the bat from a, demand revenue standpoint. And we can see again, number of brands, average number of sellers, and, a bunch of other info. But we need to get a little bit more granular. So right off the bat, we're saying, okay, this is a big market. So we're seeing that right here from this data. But here's what's cool with SmartScout. There's going to be this magnifying glass over to the left of tactical flashlights. I can click that and it's giving me some options. I can view a dashboard. I can view brands, products, scope, search terms, or I can add to a new collection. Let's dive into this a little bit further. One of my favorite ones to look at, guys, right here is brands. So if I click on brands, it's now going to show me within the subcategory of tactical flashlights, what brands are dominating this specific market. Now, again, we can see how valuable this information is because the first thing we can see is any one brand or two brands maybe dominating the market? Right here at the top, we can see that the brand Streamlight is capturing 39% of the market share for tactical flashlights, coming in at an average $5.6 million in monthly revenue. And we can also see market share change between now and 30 days ago. So are they a brand that's growing in the market, dying in the market, up and down? We can see that for all these brands. We can see too, how many ASINs does the top brand have? That's also valuable to see because we can look at Streamlight and say, wow, $5.6 million a month. That must be nice. But they have 111 ASINs. And if you were to look down this list at all these other brands, we're looking at like 45, 83, 28, and then it drops way down. 2, 9, 9, 15, 16, 14, 9, 6, 17, like low numbers. So what does this kind of tell us too? Now there's so many things we can look at here, but just kind of like objectively going through this data right here, we can see, okay, Streamlight and Olight are the two big players. Those two alone are capturing 50% of the market. The other 50% of the market is all the other brands underneath: Surefire, Fenix, Feyachi, Nightcore, Solofish, and then the way down. But something that's interesting to look at when we look at, okay, let's get rid of the top two outliers there, Streamlight and Olight. These are big time brands, household name brands. If you know anything about guns and tactical flashlights and stuff, you've heard of Streamlight. So these are the big brands they've been around for a while, right? They've been doing their thing. But we want to know, can we enter this market and disrupt? Could we enter this market and make a dent, find our niche, carve out a way to make some revenue? Now, by looking at all the other brands on here, we can get a feel for, okay, what's all their monthly average revenue? And I can scroll and see all of them. And if I kind of look at the ratio of estimated monthly revenue to number of ASINs, right? Like how much sales are they getting relative to the number of ASINs? You can get a feel for like, okay, if I want to make, like, let's say you're setting a goal for yourself. I have an idea for a tactical flashlight. My goal is to sell $50,000 a month. What is it going to take to sell $50,000 a month? Okay. You could, come in here to this tool, only look at the brands doing $50,000 a month or right around there. Let's say like, there's a whole bunch. I'm just drawing some lines here. I'm looking at the top is 58,000. Then I cut off the bottom at 45,000. So we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we got 10 brands. And within those 10 brands, if I look at the columns, I can see, okay, number of ASINs, and I could find the average right there, which looks to be right off the bat, looks to be right around 10. Total ratings count, also I could take the average. There is an outlier here that has 33,000 reviews, but if I took the median or got rid of the outlier, it looks like average, or the number of reviews I would probably need is roughly in the 2,000 range. So that gives me a good idea, or I could actually look at average ratings count too. That kind of also tells you the average ratings depending on how many ASINs. So I could say average ratings is roughly, man, again, we got some outliers, but maybe in the 200, 300 range. So that gives me a lot of good info. I could tell myself, okay, if I wanted to sell tactical flashlights and my goal was, to get to $50,000 a month revenue in a, somewhat realistic time frame, maybe a year or two, I would need 10 different ASINs, so 10 different offers, variations of my tactical flashlights, and I would need to get each of those up to 200 to 300 reviews. And if I can do that, if I can have 10 offers, 10 variations, 10 flashlights, get them all up to around 300 reviews, likely, I'm assuming you have good reviews and it's a competitive price point, likely you could sell $50,000 a month. And here's a cool thing. You can also see over here on the far right, average price. So I could also take an average price point viewpoint and see like, okay, what's the kind of average price point my lights would need to be at to be competitive in the market. So how can we comb through, again, I'm just kind of scrolling here and looking and seeing what the data is showing me. But the cool thing is we can add filters. So over here in the far right, I can click on filters and I can add filters to, again, try to see is this a market that I want to enter into? Here's some filters that I would recommend playing with to, again, kind of see what the potential is. We're going to look at ratings, total ratings count, and I'm going to put the max at 1,000. So I only want to see brands that have total ratings under 1,000. Okay. Actually, I'm actually going to flip something up really quickly here. We're going to switch because right now we're looking at brands. I want to look at products specifically. We could do this for brands, but I think we're going to get a little bit better data if we look at products specifically. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up here, and you notice here in these menus at the top, right now I'm on brands, but I can actually click on products. So now I'm essentially seeing pretty much the same type of data with a lot more columns in here, which we'll go over here in just a second. But my goal is to figure out, again, if I were to launch a tactical flashlight, realistically, how much could I sell in, again, that realistic time frame of my first year and a half, right? So now let's enter in some filters. This will give us, we're fine tuning things a little bit from a brand perspective. Let's look at actual products under tactical flashlights. So I'm going to add the filters, same sort of thing. I'm going to go ratings, max 1,000 ratings. Oops, I did the wrong one. Total ratings count, sorry. Total ratings count. Let's do max 1,000 total ratings. Okay. So now we're looking at all the SKUs that have under 1,000 reviews. Let's also do launch date. Let's do less than a year. So let's do less than, let me see. I'm going to do 02/01/2023. I think that's how I do it. Okay. Let's do that. And, oh no, I got to do between. In range. Sorry. The way that this launch date filter works is a little confusing. In range, I want everything that's launched from February 1st of 2023 to, we'll do January 1st. So we'll go 01/01/2024. I think that should be right. Okay. That looks better. So now if I'm looking at my launch date column here of the data, it should only show stuff that has been launched in the last roughly year. So I really should only be seeing the number 2023 or maybe a couple 2024s, but not many. Okay. So this looks better. That looks accurate. All right. Now, something else we can do is we could filter the price point that you're targeting. So we filtered by, I want to look at all the products under 1,000 reviews, anything that's launched within the last 12 months. And let's do price. Let me find it here. What the name? Buy box price. That's what we're looking for. Let's do buy box price. Now flashlights, tactical flashlights, a little bit more on the expensive side. But let's say anything in the $60 to $120. I don't know. I'm just making up a range right here. So now I've got, let's see, ratings under 1,000 total reviews. It's been launched within the past year and it's in the price point of 60 to 120 bucks, which is based on your research. That's where you feel like you could sell your light. Now we could also look at, actually, let me make my date range a little bit bigger because I want to see this 12-month growth. There's a column called 12-month growth and it shows who is growing the fastest in the last 12 months. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm actually going to go to launch date and I'm going to extend it a little bit further back. So it's a little past 12 months. So let me go December 1st, 2022. Okay, that puts it at a little over a year. We're still not getting any real good 12-month growth data. I could maybe expand that out a little bit further. We'll just ignore the 12-month growth for right now. Let's ignore the 12-month growth for right now. Okay, now let's close the filter. And this is what we can see. Let's actually sort by, what should we sort by? We can sort by all sorts of stuff. We could do estimated monthly revenue. In fact, I think that's what it's sorted by right now, high to low, estimated monthly revenue. Okay, cool. So now we can see right here what the top selling products are that have been launched in the past year. And we can see a few different things. Like if I was, again, looking at this to decide, are tactical flashlights something I want to sell? We're looking for some cues. Right off the bat, the fact that we're seeing a lot of SKUs right here, that's a good sign. 75 in our results. So there are 75 listings, SKUs, that meet this criteria. Under 1,000 reviews, have launched within the past year. They're in the price point that we would sell at. And we skipped over that 12-month growth, but everything else is checking out. So I can see total ratings count for each SKU. I can see what their review quality is. And then again, I can kind of see their estimated monthly revenue. So this is showing me, okay, realistically, actually, I know what I'm going to sort by. Let's sort by total ratings count. Let's go high to low. Okay. So this is showing me that even if I have somewhat low reviews, I could potentially still be selling some decent monthly revenue. Now, if I scroll over, I do want to take a glance at the brands. That's another big point here is we want to see, is there a good distribution of brands? If all of these here were like Streamlight or Olight, that would be concerning because that would say, okay, the only brands that are growing and, launch within the past year are like the big established name brands. It'd be like, it's a little bit of a monopoly sign. But if we see a whole bunch of different brands here, that's a good sign. It means that there's a lot of different brands who have launched SKUs in the past 12 months that are finding a way to get, this estimated monthly revenue nice and juicy. So I'm gonna go back and do monthly revenue high to low, and let's see what these brands are here at the top. We got Olight, Nightcore, Olight, GoPlant, Phoenix, Olight, Nightcore, Votatu, Nightcore, Votatu. So this is good. Like I'm seeing a whole bunch of different brands here. And then as I scroll down further, there's even more like random brands that I've probably never heard of. But again, the point remains that there's a lot of different brands who are finding a way to get, over 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, and then the top three, 100, 99, and 81,000 with launching within the past year with less than 1,000 reviews. And then again, you can even look at what their average review is, 4.8, 4.4, 4.6. So that kind of shows you too, like, okay, maybe there is some room for improvement with those offers that are out there. So this tool is really cool for, again, analyzing markets, analyzing the brands in the market, analyzing the product offerings in the market. And then you can filter things down and get a vibe for like, okay, I see that there's potential here early on within my first year when my reviews are still relatively low. There's still enough market share. There's enough distribution among brands. There's enough ways I could customize my offer, make it better, improve on the quality of what's out there to find my way in this niche. Let's look at some other kind of menu item features here in the subcategory tool. We could click on the scope tool. And the cool thing about this scope tool is it shows us how brands are moving over time. So I can set the date range right here. I'm looking at 12 months. Maybe let's click on 24 months and see what that gives us. Okay, so for 24 months, we can see, okay, how is this market in general? So I'm looking at revenue right now and I can see, okay, revenue looks healthy over the past 2 years. It's gradually, I would say, going up. Had a nice little peak there around the beginning of 2023, like starting in November, going into May or so. Now, I don't personally, I'm trying to think what happened in, November 22 to May 22, 23. It could be that that's hunting season. There could be other stuff in the world that happens, politics, especially if we're talking about tactical flashlights. But that being said, we're just kind of looking at the overall growth health of revenue for this specific subcategory. And then as we go down further, we can see the health and growth of those top brands. So you can see kind of like at a glance, like what is the market share like, the market share distribution over the past 2 years for those top brands. Streamlight, you can see kind of like the percentage of what market share they own. And then next on there, Olight, Surefire, Phoenix, and then it gets, smaller and smaller. And then there's the all others. But here's what I would say is interesting about this all others. Let me actually shrink this date range down. Here's the interesting thing about this all others. All others is the bottom one down here. So if you're looking at the screen with me, it's this dark green one at the bottom. And if you look at the width of that chart, that again is showing you the market share of all the other brands outside of those top, 9, I think. And you can see that over the past year, 12 months, that's actually getting bigger, which is good. It's showing that the fact that this is wide, this gap is getting wider, or it has been wide recently. It shows that new brands are entering the market for tactical flashlights and grabbing market share. which again is another sign of, hey, there is room to enter into this market and disrupt. And then we can look down even further under this scope and we can see for tactical flashlight keywords, we can see estimated weekly search volume. And then we could even dive even deeper into those specific search terms with ad spy. If you have ad spy or rank maker, there's obviously some different features based on the plan that you purchase, but I kind of just wanted to focus on this main subcategory tool here in SmartScout. Let's actually just click on really quickly. Let's click on one more thing here under the subcategory tool. Again, you can like click down and look at stuff for days. I'm gonna click on this search terms really quickly. And let's actually click on, so again, this is basically what you're looking at under scope. We're seeing all the top search terms under the niche tactical flashlights. So that'll give you an idea of like, okay, where can you target? And here's another really interesting metric. It shows you the number of products in this category that are related to the search term. So if you see right here, we're looking at search volume high to low. The number one search term is flashlight, 338,000, but that's pretty generic for Amazon. That could be any type of flashlight. Pistol light is 33, has a high category relevance score. We've got stream light, which again is the brand. The brand is getting a lot of searches again. Another sign too, here's another sign of seeing a lot of branded searches, which we're seeing a lot right here. Like if you scroll down, you're seeing a lot of brand, Surefire X300, Streamlight flashlight, O-Light, Weapon Light. There's a lot of branded searches, which tells me one thing. This is a very brandable product. If you can build brand, build reputation, people will come to Amazon looking for your brand. So another good sign that this is a product market to enter into, because if you hustle off Amazon on social media with your branding efforts, people will come looking for your brand, which is great for obviously your organic conversion. But if we look at this number of ASINs, we could see if there's any opportunities. So for flashlight, there's 31 ASINs for this specific category. Pistol light has 88. But if I see a search term here that's like high search volume, in fact, let me sort here by estimated weekly search volume. Ooh, check this. Flashlights, high lumens, 120,000 searches per week, which is a lot per month. Decent category relevance, 44. Not high in the 60s, but it's not low in the 20s, so it's decent. But there's only 9 ASINs in tactical flashlights that are capitalizing on flashlights high lumens. So this is where you can kind of carve out some opportunity, or even the next one down, rechargeable flashlights, 118,000 searches per week, 41 relevance score, 5 ASINs. So again, I could say, oh, if I can make a rechargeable tactical flashlight, there's a nice opportunity there to rank and grab some market share because only 5 ASINs really are related to that search term. So this is where you can, again, kind of find out, oh, how do I make my product different? How do I find the opportunity within this market? There's 2 quick ways right there. Let me actually click on one of these, flashlights, high lumens, and there's this option here called Rank Maker. This will show you all of the top flashlights, the top ASINs for that specific keyword. So I can see it right now, it's sorted by the latest rank. So this Retro Tactical Flashlight 4-pack, bright zombie light, whatever, is ranking number 1 for the keyword flashlights, high lumens in this tactical headlight or tactical flashlight under handheld flashlight subcategory. And then you can see like the 30-day organic rank history. So you can click on this, like, okay, over the last 30 days, how has their ranking been or changed? Average organic rank too on all these. So again, actually let me filter because under primary subcategory, I'm seeing handheld flashlights, but I'm also seeing tactical flashlights. I could, let me see if I can filter and do primary subcategory and only contains tactical. See if that filters for us. There we go. So now I filtered, and so I'm looking at the keyword flashlights, high lumens, rank maker. I'm seeing the top products where they're ranking organically. I could do average or latest rank for that keyword. So then you can get a feel for, okay, what's being offered. You could look deeper into those. You can open those on Amazon. You could see what price they're charging and then really craft your offer, your listing, your, right? Your product around those top opportunities of those keywords that you're seeing, have the best demand with the most opportunity with products that are not capitalizing on those keyword search terms that are taking off. So this is the beauty of SmartScout. Like I said, you can click down and into all sorts of stuff here, dashboards, subcategories, brands, go within brands. I could look at a specific brand. Let me look at a specific brand and I could go and look at what are their products. So I could look at all the products under one specific brand. I'm under Lumen Trail now. and I could sort and see, okay, what is Lumen Trail's best selling SKU? And then I could analyze, okay, why is that offer best selling SKU? Okay, now I'm looking at a bunch of like binoculars. But anyways, you can click down and analyze and look and see your competition, what they're selling, what sells the best, what their price point is. You could go and plug their products into the revenue calculator, figure out what their profit margins likely are, all sorts of stuff to figure out, okay, who's winning, how are they winning, and what do you need to do to win like them or beat them, essentially, right? Guys, this is SmartScout. Again, it's an impressive tool. I did a podcast interview with Scott, the founder of SmartScout, over on his show. You can go check out that interview on his podcast. But yeah, it's a really cool tool. I've been using it personally. I think there's tons of use for it for you guys, especially if you're really, really serious about making this happen long term and building a 6-7 figure brand on Amazon. Doing your research and making the smart decisions and not just kind of like winging it and saying, oh, I hope this works or I hope this idea is a good idea. But doing all the little things really to really almost, I don't want to say guarantee, but almost ensure your success from day one. Because you know exactly how you need to execute to be successful. Then it's not like well, I hope this wins. It's like, I know exactly what I need to do to win. So using these tools, using PickFu polls and other things that we've been using with our clients really helps you do that. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much extra money per month or not that much extra money to run some polls and things. You're going to spend a couple $100 that could potentially make you a couple $1 million down the road. So that's what I'm all about, doing this the right way and doing the things like this that your competition, all the other people starting brands and products are not doing, to give yourself an edge, to really give yourself an edge in a market as things again become more and more competitive. So hit the description. I've got the link there for you guys. AMZ with Andy, 25% off 3 months. Guys, I appreciate you. We've got more sweet content on the way. If you're not subscribed, I hope you are after this episode. Once again, guys, I'm Andy. You're listening to Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. We'll see you in the next episode.